62% want more stimulus checks in 2023. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, a new survey was just conducted and the results are in. 62% want more stimulus checks in 2023, and that's what I want to focus on here in this video because there's a lot more to this picture that is not being displayed just here in this 62% figure, but I do want to discuss all the details because this is giving us a much better picture of what is really going on all across the country, so let's get into it and discuss all the details. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and because I am your one and only daily advocate, I'm here for you right by your side each and every day, watching all this new information hitting the wire, doing the research and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay updated with what's actually going on, and most importantly, how it's going to impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and of course, anything showing up right now you can possibly grab and or take advantage of, including money, benefits, raises to benefits, checks, programs, stimulus, or anything else like that. Of course, I want to bring it to your attention right away as things are changing very rapidly, and as you know, we're getting new announcements literally every single day. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and also remember, I'm here for you in any way that I can be. That's my dedication, that's my commitment, and as always, that is my promise to you and everybody right here in the community. All right, let's get into it and talk about this new survey that was just conducted and released showing 62% of the population wants more stimulus checks in 2023. Now, here's the details of this survey. Now, obviously, at this point, I've said it a few times, but let me run you through all the different details because there's a few different numbers here that I want you to be aware of as a result of this survey. So here's what they found with this survey. So they found that 62% of respondents want more stimulus checks in 2023. Meanwhile, 22% of the respondents said, no, we don't want more stimulus checks, and 16% of the respondents said, I don't know. I don't really know if I want more checks or not. I guess I'm really confused. I don't know how somebody doesn't know if they want more checks or not. I mean, let's be real. Either you want more money or you don't, I guess, but whatever. 16% of people said, I don't know if I want more money or not. I still think that's kind of funny, but honestly, that's just my opinion. Anyway, so you can clearly see here, the vast majority of people that responded to this report, 62% of the respondents are saying, yes, we need more checks. Now, here's the deal. Is that a small margin of people? Is it a medium margin of people? Or is it the vast majority of people? Well, it's almost 2/3 of the respondents on this report. In fact, 66% would be exactly 2/3 of the population or the respondents of this actual report. So we're about 4% shy of actually being at 2/3 of a percent of the population. So in other words, we're just under 2 out of every 3 people that responded to this survey want more checks. So that I would say, in my opinion, that is a high percentage of people that need more checks right now and that want more checks. Now, here's the thing. Everybody probably wants more money. Well, what I should say is a lot of people do. In fact, 22%, like I said no, we don't want more checks. So again, leave them out then. If they don't want their checks, then fine. Give it to us. We will gladly take it, right? Now, here's the thing. It'd be pretty nice if Congress actually did something like this. Now, as we all know as well, the new Congress is in place, right? As of early January, the new Congress is in place, and they are the ones who get to make all of our decisions for us. So, congratulations to the new micromanagers of the next couple of years here called the new Congress, who gets to make all the decisions for us on our behalf. Thank you very much, Congress. Can't wait to see what they're going to come up with. I can't even imagine, can you? But either way, when it comes down to it, Congress makes all of these decisions for us, and then obviously they pass the piece of legislation through the 2 chambers, the House of Representatives, the Senate, and then obviously they go on to the president for a signature to either turn them into law or he pulls out his big red stamp and says, veto, get out of here. But that typically does not happen all that often at all. But sometimes it does. But in the event of another check making it to the president's desk, I highly doubt that he would pull out the veto stamp. He would probably pull out the pen and slap a signature on it. But again, that's just my anticipation. But here's what it comes down to. When it comes to another check, again, as I've talked about so many times in previous videos, it really all comes down to the economic picture. However, I do want to point out a few things here because we're starting to see cracks in this economy. Now again, we've been seeing cracks in this economy for a very long time now, but As I've said before, it's a very slow process. It takes a very long time for all of this and all of the economic data and the slowdown to really take effect. But once the slowdown starts happening, it kind of gets bad kind of fast, right? But it takes a very long time. It's like a train cruising down the tracks at 60. Does that thing just slam on the brakes and stop in 5 feet? No, it takes like a very long time. Now, obviously, I am not a train expert. I don't want to pretend to be a train expert. I don't know that information, but I've heard rumors saying that it takes about a mile for a train going at about 60 miles per hour to slow down and actually stop. Now, again, whether that's actually true or not, I don't really know. I'm not an expert on that stuff, but all I know is that a train cruising, pulling 100 cars or whatever happens to be, and who knows how much weight that is. It's just a crazy amount of weight that those trains pull. But my point is, long story short, this analogy is basically saying the economy works basically the same way. Cruising down the tracks like a huge train, 60 miles per hour, it takes a long time to slow down. But when it slows down and stops, it takes a very long time, yet again, to start moving in the opposite direction. And again, when it starts moving again, it's kind of a fast thing, right? It starts moving kind of fast, and it's kind of hard to slow down and stop, right? So kind of an analogy that all of us can probably understand because, it's just something that we've all witnessed. But anyway, when it comes down to it, when it comes down to another check, we realistically need to continue watching this economy very closely. Now, here's what we've been seeing. Over the last several weeks here, we've been seeing more people filing for unemployment benefits. And in other words, initial jobless claims. Now, is this something that, is just like, well, whatever, it's just, not a big deal? No, this is actually something that's actually a pretty big deal. When it comes down to it, there's actually only a couple metrics that we need to watch very, very closely when it comes down to the economy. And I would say one of them is the job market. The job market and the unemployment rate, as in how many people are currently unemployed, are more people filing for unemployment benefits? Is the unemployment rate rising? Where is that actually going? I would say this is possibly one of the most important factors when it comes into determining if another check or anything like this will actually be determined. Now, obviously, with this report and this survey that I'm talking about here in this video, as in the 62% of people that want checks, just because 62% of people want checks does not mean that Congress is going to say, oh, wow, 62%, nearly 2/3 of the population wants more checks. Let's get those printed up right away. Unfortunately, Congress doesn't care that much. That's not really how it works. It sure would be nice if that's how it works, but unfortunately, that is not how it works. They look at the economic data to determine are checks needed for this economy. That's what it really comes down to. And again, I've explained this in greater detail in other videos, so I don't need to go into a huge amount of detail here in this one, just because I've explained it so much in other videos that I probably don't need to explain it once again here. But those are the factors that Congress will be watching to determine will these additional checks be needed. Now, I have seen down in the comment section as well, some of you reaching out saying, hey, what happened to that $2,000 stimulus check petition? Is that still out there, or what's going on with that? Yes, it's still out there, but again, just like this survey suggesting 62% of the population wants more stimulus checks, just because a petition is out there and it has over 3 million signatures doesn't mean anything. It's good, that's nice, but it does not mean that Congress is going to look at that and say, wow, 3 million people want stimulus checks, which, by the way, there's over 330 million people in this country. 3 million people is, on a percentage basis, a very small percentage of our population here in this country. So it doesn't mean that Congress is going to look at that. Now, honestly, I have not looked at that petition in quite a while. I have no idea where it's at for signatures. The last time I did look at it, yes, signatures were still rolling in, although it was pretty slow, okay? It's a little over 3 million. I think the last time I looked, it maybe had something like, I don't know, maybe 3,058,000 or something like that. Again, it was something like that. It's been quite a while since I've looked at it, simply because it doesn't really matter anymore. I'm just going to be real with you right now. It doesn't really matter what that petition says. Even surveys like this, even though they all help, don't get me wrong, if there was no talk about any of this, if there were no surveys being conducted, if there were no, petitions rolling around, if there were no information rolling around like that, it probably wouldn't exactly be the best thing, but all of these surveys do help to give us a better glimpse into what's really going on. And you can clearly see here, do people just want checks so that they can go out and buy a bunch of stuff they don't need? No, that is not the case at all, even though that is sometimes what people say. That's not the case. People want stimulus checks because people are truly struggling right now. You've seen the reports that I've talked about here previously over the last few days and the several weeks where we collectively here in the United States have $1 trillion of credit card debt. That's not a good thing. We've also seen car repossessions ticking way up as of recently, as in people can't afford their cars, so therefore they're being repossessed. Not a good situation, right? We've seen foreclosures ramping up. We've seen evictions in rentals. We've seen those ticking up as well. We've seen a lot of different things. We've seen the other reports that I brought to you recently as well, where they are now suggesting 23 million households here in the United States are behind on their utility bills by at least 60 days. Again, I could go on and on and on with all of these reports that I brought to you in previous videos and that I've been reading about, and maybe I haven't even shared all of these with you in some of the videos, but I continue to see all the reports coming out time and time again showing the American people need checks. Everybody? No, not everybody, but the low income and fixed income, yes, 100%. Those individuals with an income of, say, $50,000 or less, yeah, we continue to see the statistics out there that show pretty much anybody that has an income of $50,000 or less is really, really struggling right now. In fact, even 1 in 4 people that have an income over $100,000 are really struggling. In fact, another report showed 47% of those people with an income of over $100,000, as in 6 figures, are living paycheck to paycheck. So you can clearly see people with all incomes across the board are really having a hard time right now. But this is just another survey that I wanted to bring to your attention to show you what is really going on. And again, this is a sample size from across the entire country. This is not just like one city in one state in the United States. This is all across the country that these surveys and reports are coming out. So it gives us a little sample to see what is really going on all across the country. And we know the picture is not that great. So why this is so hard to figure out for Congress and everybody else, again, not really sure, right? So just want to bring this to your attention. But we here in this community, we clearly know what is really going on because I'm watching all these reports and I'm watching all the surveys, I'm watching all this information, and I'm bringing it to you in these videos, and you can clearly see it. And again, I've seen it below. Many of you here in the community love these types of videos, really enjoy this information, and you appreciate these updates because, like I've said before, does your local news tell you this stuff? Highly doubt it. Your local news doesn't cover this information. But again, you can look all this information up for yourself if you would like to. I cross-reference about 25 different sources every single day with all this information. There's a lot of information going on out there. So feel free to look it up if you'd like to, but again, I'm just doing what I can to bring you these reports and all the latest updates and these surveys and information as it's hitting the wire. So just another one I want to bring to your attention so you can see what is really going on all across the country. Anyway, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel as I do get more details on anything going on right now as it pertains to you, your money, your benefits, your stimulus, anything else out there you can possibly grab or take advantage of. Of course, I do want to bring it to your attention right away on this channel. So enjoy, have a good day, and I'll catch you again later.